Hi everyone, let's talk about Castles of Burgundy. And, a lot has been said already about the game. I love it. I tend to really like Stefan Feld games anyway, and this is one of his best, definitely. Uh, let's try and think of negative points about it. The dice. You are at the mercy of dice no matter what. It's got a lot of mitigation in this. You can get the workers, you can get the abilities that let you just adjust the dice without spending anything, like that one Marty had. There's other things that didn't come out because not everything comes out in a two-player game, but a lot that will let you mitigate those dice. But still, no matter how much mitigation you have, there are definitely games where just nothing is going your way. You're rolling the complete wrong numbers, and nothing you do will help you. You're just going to have to keep wasting actions to get workers. It's not a very common occurrence in my experience, but it's definitely happened. I've played the Castles of Burgundy a lot, especially online. I think it's on Ucarta. But yeah, I've played it a ton. And I just love it. Just the simplicity of just taking these tiles and laying them out and spreading across this map and trying to race to fill the areas. But no matter what you're going for, whether you're going for the animals and you're trying to get the same types, whether you want all of the crazy powers and the massive endgame bonuses of the knowledge tiles, the special actions of the buildings are really important as well. If you want to put a lot of tiles out, you're going to have to be either getting free tiles with certain buildings or putting tiles out for free with other buildings, or the one that gets you 4 workers. They're all really, really useful in their own way, to the point where the one that just gets you 4 points doesn't seem so exciting, but as we saw with Marty, when combined with the end game score of get another 4 points for them, they are really, really powerful indeed. And then you've got to think about, where you're taking the goods from, if you can match your colours up so you can ship loads more in one go and not have to keep wasting actions to be able to ship things. The silverlings as well, you get those from shipping, or do you try and go for mines early so you can get loads and loads of silverlings and keep taking things from the middle, because they can be really, really important, especially, in a 2-player game. There's only going to be one castle per round, one mine per round. The ones that come out in the middle can be vital if you want some as well, because you can't just let the other player have a monopoly on them. And all that's I think I mentioned it, the race for these bonuses as well, which makes the end game scores of the playthrough wrong. Actually, I didn't everyone should have 10 more points, but it doesn't change the end result. But yeah, I just love this game, really. It didn't get old when I haven't really played on any board games online for quite a while now, but when we were about a year ago, there were always multiple games of Castles of Burgundy going on my account constantly, in addition to playing it in real life as well. The player boards that come with it are all very different. It's got a side one for beginners, so that's all the same, so everyone's starting off on the same footing. But from then on, you can choose ones, and then there's been a lot of expansions for it. I've got a couple of the player board ones that just shake those up a bit. There have been a few tile ones, like there's goats that I think are wild animals. Well, they count as wild, they count as anything when you're scoring them. And there's special tiles that count as any type. They came with the advent calendar, I think. But yeah, there's a lot to add to it, but just the game itself is fantastic. And I'll say another thing. It's not a negative. It's a positive, really. As I love it as a 2-player game, especially. It's fantastic. It's so quick and smooth. Everybody, we know what we're doing. It's just silky smooth at this point. Everybody knows what actions they're taking. You might end up a little bit stuck if the dice haven't come out, or you're just stuck on what do you do first, what's the other player going to take, what can you leave. That's great in so many games, and here's no exception, where you just have to be thinking, I really need this, but there's only one mine available. Should I take this now? Is the other person going to take it ahead of me? Because that could be it for the round, and especially if you've got the tile like Marty did, where you can get workers because you've got that special bonus tile for having mines. If you can get 3 mines really quickly, and you're generating 3 workers around, then you're probably going to need them in a round, don't get me wrong. You're not just going to store them up for loads of points. But if you have all of those workers just being generated for free, it's going to give you so much freedom to be able to do things with the dice. But I'm getting off track. 2 players. Yeah, it's so quick and so smooth, and there's very little downtime, that it's just fantastic. I am surprised whenever I play at 4-player. It's long enough between my 4-player plays that I forget how long it takes. And maybe it's not like it's a ridiculously long game. takes a standard amount of time, really, under 2 hours probably, an hour and a half about. But it's just when you've had that experience of two players of being just really quick and snappy, and it's your turn again before you know it. It's very jarring to go to the four-player experience, which just it's inevitable that it adds that downtime. There's still tension because you're wondering what's going to be available, and in the four-player game, you've got the guarantee that every single tile is going to come out in a four-player game. That might change if you use the expansion tiles, but just the base game, every single tile is going to come out. So the one where you need, you can break the rule and you can have the same building in the same zone twice, or as many times as you want. That can be vital, especially that there's definitely one player board where all of the buildings is one huge section, and a size 8 section is 36. Maybe it's not all of your buildings, but there's a huge building section, and it's 36 points if you can fill that section. Without this tile, it's very different. It's very difficult. You're going to need one of every single building, and everybody around the table knows that you need that. So, you're going to need that to come out. And so in a two-player game, I suppose you can just, if that tile doesn't come out and the particular building you want doesn't happen to come out, you'd have to be very unlucky for that, but I suppose it could happen. But I do like the mystery of not really knowing what's coming out. I built loads of those churches. I had 4 of them in the end, so if the bonus tile had come out that would get me bonus points for those churches, there it was the next one out. If I could have got hold of that, and if I could have built it, there's a lot of what ifs, but that could have given me a big boost at the end. So you have got another random element there because of just not everything's going to come out in a two-player game. Only half of the things I think are going to come out. A little bit different than that, but yeah, it's going to change. But I really love it as a two-player game, especially. And that's just the Castles of Burgundy. It's really cheap as well. I normally don't comment on, but it's about £20 on Amazon. It's a really cheap game, and for the amount of the components as well are an issue. The tiles are quite thin and it doesn't look like an exciting game. I'll definitely admit that. When you see some of the colours look a bit drab and the art itself isn't particularly exciting, but it all suits what it is. It's all very functional, and it's very clear what is going on. Once you know the game, it's kind of obtuse when you start that it's just full of symbols on your player boards, but once you know what those symbols vaguely mean, it's very useful to have the entire player aid in front of you. I think all you need to check the rules for is what the knowledge tiles do if you're unsure. But yeah, I think I've said enough things about this. Really love the Castles of Burgundy. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you for the next game. Bye.